Hi everyone, I am Georgie. I am one of the community member for AKISC. So today with us we have Sumanth from UK. He's a master graduate in AI, and he has a story to share with us in how he was a fresher and then he got his job even before graduating himself. So that's a good story that we can hear from him. So Sumanth, maybe you can start off with maybe your introduction, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure, Georgie, I do that. Hello, everyone. This is Sumanth here. I did my bachelor's in VIT University in Chennai, Velu Institute of Technology. I got graduated in 2020. So as soon as I got graduated in my BTech, I came for my master's, and I did my master's in the field of artificial intelligence at Queen Mary University of London, and I got graduated 2021. So as soon as I got graduated, maybe on the 8th or 9th month of my year masters, I've got a job in cloud computing in a company called Cognizant Microsoft Business Group. So yeah, it's been a year and a half I'm working there. It's all good until now.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you might be familiar that most of the UK students really struggle after maybe after completing their masters and then uh, getting their job, trying to maybe send in resumes of maybe 200 companies or more, and even finding it difficult to get a sponsored job. So what you've done differently than others that made you to excel in that particular area?
Yeah, see, I faced the same thing, but what is that? I started as soon as I finished my semester one. After my semester one, I started applying jobs. I applied tons of jobs, but I didn't get any. They didn't even call me because my resume was not having the key points which they need for the field. And I got very panicked, and I was so futuristic that I thought, what happens if I don't get a job? I need to go back to India and all. And then, but I had this strong relation with the professors and with the connections, like my colleagues who studied with me, who had prior experience in this field and live in London. So with the help of them, they referred me to a few companies. They just gave a word. They didn't help me with the process, but they just gave a word telling that, I know him. He does really good things, and my company, like that, they took me, because without referrals, I don't think so I would have got a job now.
Yeah, right. So I think what we were trying to say is basically networking and relationship
Yeah,
building really help you to crack that job.
definitely. Yeah, if I don't have any relationship with the professors or my colleagues in the university, then definitely I would have known none and got no job now.
Got it. Have you got, so this was the sole company that selected you and onboarded, or have you been shortlisted in any previous companies or something in that particular term? Have you got shortlisted in any other companies as well?
No, as I said, I applied to many companies, but they were not even looking at my resume, because as I was a fresher and I had no experience in any field of work, they weren't like looking at my resume. But since he gave a word of mouth, like I know him, and then they started looking at my resume, and then they got what I'm capable of, and then they offered me the job in cloud computing.
Got it. So another aspect that mostly the graduates, international graduates, really face is the rejection side of things. Students face a lot of rejections due to which they are really stressed out in this whole process. So how did you specifically tackle that, and how did you successfully do that?
See, again, the same answer for this is referrals only, because I would tell an example. I got like many friends with me who study well, like they excel more than me. They got 90 or 85 percentage, whereas I'm an average student who get 70 to 75 percentage. They've been very introvert. They not talk with people. They talk with me because I'm an Indian, but they don't talk with other region of people, other cultures of people, and they keep their mouth shut, and they just answer when the name being called. So they had no interaction with people, even though they did well in the studies. They had not got a job, and they went back to India now. So the only thing is that you should be vocal, and you should be in touch with all the people, even though you know them for 1 or 2 times.
Understood. So now then you mentioned like so your networking really helped you to uh, get in front of someone who is really looking to take in someone. Then there are the other process of maybe the interviews, a set of interviews and other selection processes. Can you please take me through that whole journey?
Yeah, so basically, as I've been referred by someone, there were not much interviews. There were only two rounds of interviews. One is called aptitude test, where they test your basics of English, Maths, and all. And the other one is that in my interview, how it happened was that they gave me a topic. For example, I'm working in the field of cloud computing, so they gave me a topic of cloud computing, and they told me, I don't expect you know everything from cloud computing, but whatever make it as a PPT and then tell us, so that we know which level you are in, and we can train you and then put you with the client facing world after some time. So yeah, I was very confident, and I was motivated, to just showcase what I know from the
Mhm.
subject. I just told them this is what I knew from the subject. And later, yeah, they hired me and they taught me how it works with the real world, how should we be practical with the cloud computing and all. And then after 6 months, they pushed me to the client facing side.
Understood. So, so according to you, what would have been your good points that had helped you in cracking that particular interview process? So you mentioned, I think you. So what I've understood right now is you were really frank about where you were standing, and you put that out clearly to your interviewee. So anything in that direction. So one is that point. So anything else that you will be you thought like that have worked for you?
Yeah. So this my answer is for people who are freshers, who just graduated
Right.
and gonna work in UK. See, as you go in for graduate role, definitely employer knows that you have no experience prior, and he doesn't expect you to do very good in whatever you're doing. He just wanted to test your confidence level, and your speaking level. How do you speak, and how confident are you in doing things and all. So whatever you just tell him, this is what I understand, and this is what I know with proper confidence. And he appreciates your confidence, and he'll take you in. That's the only point I could give as an advice.
Got it. Got it. So one other main aspect of giving the interviews are your resumes. And so what exactly, so again, you mentioned that you have applied for a lot of uh, job interviews, and most of them have rejected, and one you have successfully cracked. So what exactly have you done with your resume? If you can share with our community, what differently have you done, anything differently, or what kind of model that you've chosen that would be really helpful for them to have an idea. And specifically, maybe since you are coming from that AI ML background, specifically if you have done something in your resume in that particular aspect, so that will also be helpful.
Yeah, so apart from my studies, I used to do most of the certification exams. For example, I knew my focus was in cloud computing only, with AI. So when I was doing my masters, side by side, I doing these kind of things like in Azure and AWS. I've got security there. I've got infrastructure and all. So doing all these kind of certifications and putting in my resume is a part of bonus for me. So when people refer me and it goes to the employer, like my resume, he looks at these certifications as an extra credit to me, and he then he eventually gives me job. So because I'm a fresher, I couldn't put prior experience what I worked, because I have no work experience. Putting my master's degree, bachelor's degree, and extra activities which I'm very interested in, and my certifications gave an extra boost to my resume.
Okay. Okay. So another question. So how many interviews were there on your whole journey? Was it only one tech, or one HR, and or was it only just one interview? For freshers, what can we expect usually?
Yeah, it was just two interviews. I think usually, I don't know. I think I'm lucky because in my company is only two rounds of interviews. But if you go to the data science side and the data analyst side, I think they're 5 rounds of interview, from what my friends told me. So the first one is the introduction one, they look at your resume and they see how you do things and all. And then there's the coding one, and
Mhm.
then goes to group discussion, and then the HR round, I think. Yeah, but for me it's just two interviews.
Okay.
I have one, yeah, PPT presentation and then aptitude exam.
Got it. Okay. So, what was the turnaround time like? Did they inform you right away that you are selected, or Did you
Yeah,
have to wait?
it was pretty quick. So I think on the day of my aptitude exam, I gave the exam. It was time driven exam. I think for 1 hour I got like 80 questions. So yeah, less than a minute each, one question. So I gave my aptitude exam. After a week, my manager called when he told me, yeah, you passed the aptitude exam. Let's go for the PPT presentation one. He gave me a time of I think 5 days to prepare for the PPT, and then we had a meeting with my manager and his manager. So it's two people and me. And then after and the meeting itself, he told me like, yeah, you're doing good. You've been selected, we'll send you the papers. And then after the end of the day he sent me offer letter, and then that is how it went. Yeah.
But so you mentioned that there was a presentation round that came in. If you can share some more light into that, like how was it? How did you prepare for that particular presentation? Did you have any process that you placed, and then say for example, you have to have that right content. You have to practice for that presentation. Can you please share something on that?
Yeah, so firstly when I start doing presentation, I thought of like putting all the information in the presentation, yeah, make it like big and attractive. And then when I give my a presentation to the employer or my manager, I thought of reading whatever stuff is there in the PPT, and then thinking like I can see and read and also give him more detail. But when I did my own like research work on Google, it seems like putting data in the PPT is not good. So what they suggested me was that just put the images there which looks attractive, and all the content should be put in the notes, which nobody else knows. When you are talking, you can read the notes, but people doesn't see and think as if you're reading from the presentation. The template would be like no matter, just the image, but you can still see when you make it notes in the PPT. So that's the only thing I can tell you.
Got it. Okay, that was good. Now I think you got the offer letter, and then there was this joining date. So in between that, what was the process? And also, if so, was this a sponsored job? Like they sponsor your visa? If that was the case, can you please give a process right from you getting that offer letter to having your first day? Can you please take us through? Maybe it can be documentation, it can be different process. Can you show some information,
Yeah,
share
sure,
something?
definitely. Right. So as I said to you before, like I didn't get my job at the end of my masters. I got it in between, like on the 8th month. So at the time I got my job, I was like student of doing masters in AI. So they couldn't offer me legally a full-time job. So they gave me a part-time job. And again, like, they were teaching me stuff. Weren't allowing me to face the client directly. They were teaching me stuff, how to deploy things in AWS or Azure and all. And then later, once my 12 months finished for my masters, and then I've got 4 more months left for my visa. Those 4 months they gave me full-time job without a sponsorship. So at the end of my visa getting like my visa getting over, they sponsored me a 3-year visa.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so now the game being sponsored by company. This was not thing which I asked them. I thought like even though I get a I take a PSW visa and still they give me job, that's fine. But they asked me whether you want a sponsorship, and they gave me sponsorship. It's a very good company, I would say.
Understood. So can you share? I think we've come to a point just to conclude this interview. Now, can you share how was your experience for the past a couple of months working with them uh, in that particular company? What so before maybe having a job, or before uh, having a job, looking to a job, that we'll have some perspective. But when we start working in that environment, how is that? How did you handle the pressure, day-to-day pressure? And was your reality and expectation the same? Can you share something on that?
Firstly, I would say this is a very good company, because in all the terms, when I when I spoke with my friends, with their sharing their thoughts and their working experience, I felt much relaxed and no pressurized. So firstly, I would tell you, when I joined this company, they gave me certain things like for example, they gave me laptop, they gave me mouse, keyboard, headsets, they gave me notes with my name on top of that, all stationaries and all. And then eventually, when COVID came and people stopped going to offices, they had this new rule telling me that we're changing your contract from work from offline work to online work. So you've been changed permanently to work from home. When they changed this contract, they also sent me a table, a chair, fire alarm, and fire extinguisher. Since because my work and my home space are same, so they
Okay.
wanted me to have a safety environment where I work. So they sent me all these things. And then also, and with my manager, I would tell you that he asked only me to work from 9 to 5, even though I work extra minute after 5. He tells me like strictly, this is not time to work, it's like your own personal time, have your own space and all. Focus the work from 9 to 5, and then later don't worry or stress about work. So yeah, it's been a very good company for me. It's nice. We got like apart from work culture, we got to meetups every week, not every week, monthly twice, I think. So we have
Mm-hmm.
few drinks and get to know the team. And yeah, we understand each and every department, how it works, the finance department, the HR department, and all. Yeah, it's a good company.
Okay. So even now you are on the work from home policy, or you'll be shifting
Yeah,
to.
yeah, it's been permanent now until I get until I come out from this job. I'll be working from home. I've got no office.
Got it. Got it. So how is that going? You working from home. How is that impacting your productivity or coordination with your team and your manager? Is that going well?
No, initially I felt a little bad, like working from home, because without no interaction with people and just talking people on teams and all, there was no coordination, or there was no, not coordination, there was not like much skills developing, but talking with people and all, like face to face. I felt a little bad, but again, with these things are being a con, the pro was be like I came to learn more things. I could focus more. Traveling was, the traveling time was reduced for me. And also I can do like my personal stuff in between after meetings. So yeah, again, I can be on my casual clothes. No, what to say, no formal clothes needed. So all these things, there are pros and cons, but I feel like work from home is okay. But initially I thought like work from home is something bad, but now it's fine for me. I got adapted to it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we conclude, just want to ask you a question. Like for the final year students who are right now looking for their job, whether it may be in technology or whether it may be in arts or any science or anything. Do you have any general advice that you wanted to give before we conclude?
Yeah, so whatever I'm giving is from my point of view. Yeah, so I'm telling you whatever I came to know. Like when this UK was part of Europe, Europeans come and work in UK. And also, since Europeans doesn't need any visa, the jobs were a little bit difficult. But now, after this Brexit, Europe went out of UK. Now even people, when they need to come to UK, they need a visa, even though they've been Europeans. So what I would say is that there are vast number of jobs here. But the thing is, a resume is not going to the right person. Because even though we have all the skills, there are a few keywords which are missing, and that's the reason the resume doesn't go to the recruiters or some people like that. So yeah, I would tell you, try your hard and try your luck and keep trying. You will definitely land up in a job, even though it's a bit late. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sumant, for your precious time. It was really helpful, I guess, for our community at AKISC. Looking forward to hosting more such sessions like this with you in the near future.
No problem, Georgie. It was, the questions were so great what you asked. You're doing such a wonderful job. Yeah.
Thank you so much.